I came across a Daily Beast report about something that took place behind the scenes in the Oval Office, where Trump's aides were, the term they used was shouting at Trump not to post something. And my take on this might be a little bit different, so just hang in there with me because I'm going to take you on a little journey. But first, here's what prompted this segment. Trump I love this. Trump, 79, scolded for trying to leak MAGA secrets. Why is that I know they put that there for context, but I don't know. That seems unnecessary. Senior moment. That's what they put. Wow. But all in good fun. I was in awe of the whole thing, said one person who witnessed the whole scuffle unfold. Top MAGA officials had to holler at Donald Trump to keep the president from blabbing to the world about a sensitive government decision he'd made just seconds earlier. White House aides were left scrambling and shouting to prevent the MAGA leader from leaking details of his plans to reclassify marijuana by posting them to Truth Social toward the end of an Oval Office sit-down. So we covered this already, this rescheduling of marijuana news. Rivers made sizable donations last year to groups backing Trump's campaign, hoping to persuade him of the benefits of rescheduling marijuana, particularly for medical research, which is a good move, by the way. A rare chance where I'll say that about a Trump move, but then the tussle over whether to push ahead with proposals to downgrade marijuana from Schedule 1 to Schedule 3 culminated in a 2-hour Oval Office meeting. And very much in Trump fashion, he never thinks about things much. He just lets people argue over it, and then whoever convinces him, he goes, that's my decision, and now I believe that. And he very easily could have swung the opposite direction. Luckily, he happened to swing in the correct direction here, and we should go further, obviously. But this is the part that fascinates me, is that they were yelling at him, please, sir, don't leak that we're doing this before we go through the decision-making process. Quote, the lawyers and his staff started yelling, no, sir, you can't yet. There's a 30-day period. It's got to go through this and that, Smith recalled, and then the person recounting this was struck by the exacerbation by the staff to say, don't post that. Here's what's crazy to me, okay? Apparently, the rescheduling of marijuana and Trump maybe getting ahead of that announcement garnered more of a reaction from his aides saying, don't post that yet, than what about everything else he posts? That's what was going through my head. They shouted at him for this, but they don't shout at him when he's saying, Pam Bondi, prosecute my political enemies. He accidentally, like a doofus, sends out what he thought was a DM to the entire world, clearly destroying the independence of our DOJ and sicking his attorney general on his political opponents. Why was no one shouting at him then? Why have I never heard reports of anyone shouting at Trump before he sent out a post blaming the death of Rob Reiner and his wife on Trump derangement syndrome after they were horrifically murdered? No one leaped in front of the phone. This is the only report I've ever heard of aides intervening to get him to not post something. What about, we're going back to it, when he called for the termination of the Constitution? You ever heard of that? He said it. He posted it. Why did no one intervene or shout at him then? While I show you more examples, please do, if you appreciate this show, click the subscribe button. It's so simple, it's so free, but it makes a big difference, and I appreciate you for it. Right below the video, it will say subscribe, and you click it, and then it'll say unsubscribe, I think, which is what you would click if you want to unsubscribe, but you won't have any use for that button anymore. Then, why didn't anyone intervene when he posted that Democratic lawmakers should be executed? No one intervened then. Just getting ahead of a marijuana announcement. Why did no one intervene when he posted, despite the constant negative press, covfefe? No one leaped to action to prevent him from posting that. What about on Thanksgiving when he said a very happy Thanksgiving salutation and then went on to rant this long, you see, including calling the governor of Minnesota, quote unquote, seriously retarded? Why did no one intervene then? All right, it's not just posts. Why did no one say before Trump came out and said this, hey, maybe not this during a pandemic?
A question that probably some of you are thinking of if you're totally into that world, which I find to be very interesting. So supposing we hit the body with a tremendous, whether it's ultraviolet or just very powerful light, and I think you said that hasn't been checked, but you're going to test it. And then I said, supposing you brought the light inside the body, which you can do either through the skin or in some other way. And I think you said you're going to test that too. Sounds interesting.
Get the right folks who could.
Right, and then I see the disinfectant where it knocks it out in a minute, 1 minute. And is there a way we can do something like that by injection inside or almost a cleaning? Because you see it gets on the lungs and it does a tremendous number of the lungs. So it'd be interesting to check that. So that you're going to have to use medical doctors with. But it sounds interesting to me.
No one said, hey, maybe not that. But they'll say, don't get ahead of an announcement we're going to make tomorrow. I don't understand how this White House operates. Hey, what about after this clip, you tell him, this actually doesn't sound very impressive. Don't keep repeating this story 100 times in the next few years.
Like a memory question. It's like you'll go person, woman, man, camera, TV. So they say, could you repeat that? So I said, yeah. So it's person, woman.
Then he went on for years to brag about how that was the most incredible cognitive test accomplishment that anyone has ever seen in the history of America. Why'd no one intervene with that? What about this one? Merry Christmas to all, including the many sleazebags who love Jeffrey Epstein, including himself. Why did no one say, that comes off a little bit like you're projecting? But this is what they'll scream at him over? What's the standard here? I'm confused. Or this. Hey, sir, I heard you reading some Facebook post from MAGA Mom 38 about cancer being linked to the sound of windmills. I don't know if that's verified. Maybe we don't mention that in the speech.
Hillary wanted to put up wind. If you have a windmill anywhere near your house, congratulations. Your house just went down 75% in value. And they say the noise causes cancer. You told me that one, okay? You know, the thing makes it so... And of course, it's like a graveyard for birds. If you love birds, you'd never want to walk under a windmill because it's a very...
And then after that, no aide ever pulled him aside. And the reason is because I was thinking, with this, he's about to go impulsively post something that could get ahead of an announcement. And there's this wild reaction reportedly, no, sir, don't. And so then I go, oh, so they do have the capability. They do have the ability to realize something maybe shouldn't be posted yet. With this, I don't know why it'd be a big deal, but with everything else I listed, why don't they ever utilize that skill in other moments? And this is something constantly where he'll misstate words. Like he said all through the pandemic, he would reference the 1917 pandemic instead of 1918. And no one ever corrected him. He'll go out there and misstate things, not lies, like embarrassing. One of the other ones is he keeps saying that you could reduce a drug price by more than 100%. He says 1,000%. It's like, mathematically, how is that even possible? And no one ever explains that to him. And then he has to have Howard Lutnick go out there and be like, well, what he means is if it goes down, then once it's already down, the way it will go back up would be 300. And if 300 was going up, then 300, you could say it was going down, even if it technically not down. But if you flip it and then you mix it, then it could be what he was saying. Why does no one ever correct him, but they can with this? That's my question. That's why I brought that to you.